Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 914th Operations Group Assumption of Command ceremony. Today, the men and women of the 914th Operations Group welcome their new commander, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph P. Contino. The presiding officer for today's Assumption of Command ceremony is Colonel Laura Morrison, Commander, 914th Air Refueling Wing, Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station, New York. I am your narrator, Master Sergeant Kristen Sosnowski. I would like to take this moment to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Contino's wife, Amy, daughter, Frankie, mother, Margaret, brother, John, and sister-in-law, Tammy. I also extend a warm welcome to all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, and other special visitors and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the arrival of the official party and the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing while Chapel Bryant leads us in today's invocation.
Please join me for a word of prayer. God, we thank you for the opportunity to participate in today's Assumption of Command for the 914th Operations Group. Thank you for the work and the diligence of Lieutenant Colonel Joe Contino. I pray for your blessing over his friends and his family that is here supporting him today, the loved ones that he has here supporting him that have helped him along this path and have prepared him for today. As he assumes command, I pray for the airmen of the operations group that you would give them steady hearts and minds, a unit, and give them unity for the mission that they are about to go under. Lord God, Contino, as he leads them, may you bless him with wisdom, patience, favor, and courage to stand for what's right in the face of challenges and the opportunity to celebrate what is good. May today mark a new season of diligence, peace, and success for the operations group as he assumes command today. I ask these things in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Bryant. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Today's ceremony signifies the assumption of command of the 914th Operations Group by Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Contino. In the military, we vest all authority and responsibility in the hands of our commanders. The change of authority and responsibility reaches from the lowest military unit directly to the Commander-in-Chief, President Joe Biden. No military unit may be without a commander, even for a brief period of time. In the ceremony, you will witness the instant Lieutenant Colonel Contino salutes Colonel Morrison and says, "I assume command." All authority and responsibility transfer immediately to him. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Morrison, Commander, 914th Air Refueling Wing.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Yeah, good. I don't think we could have asked for a prettier day. I ordered it up special, and it looks like it all worked out, Joe. You got a beautiful day. I want to thank all of you, even the rent-a-crowd, the comment I heard from somewhere over here, for attending today's ceremony. I also want to extend my own personal thanks to Joe's family. Amy, I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, but I look forward to it. Francesca, beautiful name, but I understand everybody calls you Frankie, right? Margaret, I heard a minute ago, but I also heard Marge, and I think if anybody could keep this one in line, it's you and that woman over there. I'm guessing between the two of you, you keep him straight. Tammy and John, I heard you drove in. You got up really early this morning and drove in for the ceremony, and I know that means a lot to Joe. And then we've got another Joe at the end of the row here, pastor from their church, and now you live in this area, right? Yeah. Thank you for coming out and being a part of the ceremony today. We really appreciate it. All of you know how important Joe is to your family. Today is a day to show you how important Joe is and his leadership is to this organization and to this wing. And he absolutely could not do that without your love and support. We cannot do what we do without our families. So thank you. And this is going to be a great ceremony, as much for you as it is for him and the people of his group. So Lieutenant Colonel Contino has been here for a little bit, and I don't think I need to give any of you or a recent history about him, but there's probably a few things in his past that you may or may not know about, and know about the gentleman that we all refer to as 20 Grit. Joe, if you didn't know, joined the Civil Air Patrol when he was 13. And he has not had a break in service. So including his Civil Air Patrol time, he has been in the combined years 38, which is quite an accomplishment in service to the United States Air Force. He started his career as an enlisted member of the 121st, at the time Tactical Fighter Wing in Ohio, and was an A-7 weapons loader, and then went on to be a KC-135 crew chief, and then a boom operator in the same organization when they converted to 135s. During that time, if I understand the history correct, he met and married his bride, Amy, who is also a veteran of that same unit. Congratulations. They have 3 children. Diana is 21. She's not here today. Vincent is 18, also not here today. And then we have Frankie. In 1996, he went to Youngstown. He commissioned and flew the C-130 for a couple of years. So he also has some attachment to that airplane behind us. And then he came back to the 121st and flew the 135s there for over 20 years. His son Vincent is also going to be a legacy, I'm assuming, in that same unit. In 2020, he left Rickenbacker to join an organization that I have also belonged to. And for people like us who have grown up in the tanker world and in the tanker nuclear world, we will always refer to it as TF-294, but it is now, I will never be able to call it the NOC. It's Task Force 294 was that way forever and still is in my head. But today it's referred to as AMC A10N or the NOC. Joe is still attached to that organization. He augments them when they go out and they do nuclear evaluations, which is really going to work in our favor when we go to do our INORI. So, how does a guy who has spent most of his career in the Guard make his way to the reserves? Like, he's been in the Guard for 25 years at this point, or more, and he's now a reservist. Well, he became acquainted with the 914th Air Refueling Wing and and the 328th Air Refueling Squadron while they were deployed together over in the 340th EARS over at Al Udeid in the summer of 2020. And then I just found this out a couple minutes ago, receives a phone call from none other than Colonel McElhaney and says, hey, what do you think about coming to the 914th? And the rest, as they say, is history. So outside of Niagara, Joe also maintains a business with his wife. I am really going to butcher this, so I apologize right now. Das Kaffeehaus van Frau Burkhardt. Did I get it right? Close enough. Close enough. Okay. It's a German bakery and coffee business that is actually inspired by Amy's German family heritage. So I think that's a really cool. I have a great cup and some wonderful coffee. So thank you. He's also in wherever that he finds this other free time. He's also a United Airlines pilot, and so I'm not really sure when you sleep. Yeah, you go sleep. Okay. Joe, I'm very, very happy that you decided to make the switch from the Guard into the reserves, and that you decided to join the 914th Air Refueling Squadron, and I have a chance to serve with you. You're going to bring a wealth of experience in the KC-135, both on the nuclear side and the conventional side, and I know that you are going to continue to lead the men and women of the 914th with care and compassion, because I know that there is care and compassion under 20 grit, and that these men and women deserve. So, without further ado, what say we make it official? All right.
Colonel Morrison will now execute of command for the 914th Operations Group.
Publish the order.
Department of the Air Force, Special Order Number G22003, Subject: Assumption of Command assigns Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Contino as Commander, 914th Operations Group, Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station, New York, effective 7 October 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Contino, Commander, 914th Operations Group. More marks. Which one?
I have some words. First, I'd like to thank God. None of this would be possible without his guidance. My wife, Amy, the patience that she's showed these last 26 years, well, really 28 years. Mom and Dad, my dad couldn't be with us. He's up there. Mom, thanks for coming. He would have really loved this. This profession that I chose is largely due to him and his influence in aviation. Frankie, thanks for coming. I know Diana and Vincent couldn't join you, but I appreciate my kids. I appreciate your patience. I know you've had to share me. I know that sounds stupid, but I've been gone away from home a lot, and when you and the other two were growing up, and I appreciate that. My brother John and my sister-in-law Tammy, thanks a lot. And Joe, my pastor, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Also, those that got me here, the 328th, I appreciate you reaching out to Colonel Magnuson and Colonel McElhaney. Appreciate it, sir. First interview was with him, and then Colonel Magnuson, if you're watching, I appreciate it. 121st Air Refueling Wing, I spent most of my life there. The 121st TAC Fighter Wing, I was just a kid, so excuse me. All the people that were around me when I was a 19-year-old kid are either rolling in their grave or just in complete disbelief. So, 910th Airlift Wing, Youngstown Air Reserve Station, also they joined the ranks of disbelief. And AMC 810N, I know some of them are watching. None of this could be possible without you. I appreciate it. So who inspires me in these weird times? Throughout my entire career, there's no in between. Hence how Youngstown is the one who coined 20 grit. It's kind of a love or hate, but some of that was inspired by real people. Eddie Rickenbacker, Billy Mitchell, Robin Olds. And Robin Olds, every time I sit in your conference room, ma'am, I sit right across from a picture of Robin Olds. And there's many times I'm like, what would he think about what's being said at any given moment? And those are usually comical thoughts. So he has been a big inspiration of mine. And then last but not least, and people have even parodied this on pictures around, General Curtis LeMay. I've read about him. Again, things that would make his head explode are a lot of things that are going to get us ready for next year. And he would always say, nothing could say we're going to kick somebody's butt. Well, at that time, like 777 air refueling tankers. And it was his brainchild. This very mission set that we're practicing for to pass next year was all him. And his brilliance of projection of power by air refueling, because we can give any asset in the Air Force unlimited reach with unlimited gas. As they say, nobody kicks ass without tanker gas. So a lot of that is attributed to him, and I've tried to carry myself and be assertive the way that those folks that I just mentioned would be assertive. And many times that has gotten me in trouble, as it did those folks. But none of this really is about me. All of this is about all of you. I'm an expediter of commands when they're necessary. I'm an expediter of experience, but this is your story. I'm your commander for just a very short amount of time. And my picture will be on maybe some wall of past OGs. But this is your story. And your story now is the conversion from this to a very different weapon system, which was why you guys reached out to me. And I'm going to help you get there. Thank you very much. And this means a lot to me. And I'll never forget the feeling I had when I had the opportunity and the honor of leading you guys in a combat zone. And the biggest surprise that I've ever had on a deployment was the 328th, and I'm not just saying that. It's coming from a C-130 unit and knowing the differences in cultures, I thought, whoa, these guys are going to be a clown show. Just from the two cultures, for those of you that don't know, the two cultures of the C-130 and the KC-135 probably couldn't be any more different. And I've never seen a C-130 unit out of the ones that have converted to a tanker do it as good as you guys have. So that's all on you, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to offer my wife, my daughter, and my mother, and Tammy, flowers, not only on my behalf, but as a token of appreciation from the 914th Operations Group and all the patience that you guys show and sharing your time with them by allowing me to do this job. So thank you.
The men and women of the 914th Operations Group welcome Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Contino and entrust to him the continued success of the unit. Members of the 914th Operations Group will now render their first salute to their new commander. Members of the 914th, tent hut. Present arms. Order arms. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of the Air Force song and remain standing for the departure of the official party.
Very loud.
Give it a gun, down we dive, spread the rain from under, off with one hell of a horse. We live in faith, die in flames. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Ready?
On behalf of Colonel Morrison and Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Contino, we thank you for attending today's ceremony. At 1500, we invite you all to continue the warm welcome at Building 807, where refreshments and food will be served. Thank you.